Pretty cool effect. Comic book. Yeah, it's Ken. Or Evan or whatever. I'm not Ken yet. I'm not married to Barbie. So. I'm the mysterious masked man. There you go. Green Lantern. Ta-da. I've got the mug. I've got the... Don't have the ring. I need Barbie to give me her ring. Yeah, it's hard to study. I'm reading up on architecture of microprocessors and thinking, why am I doing this? I know I said I wanted to invent a non-binary computer, which to some sounds ridiculous. What's a non-binary computer? Sort of a joke, you know. I mix humour into serious stuff, you know. I mix humour into things that I do. That's if you've looked over the years and centuries of things I've done, things I've invented and made or created have always had a touch of fun to it, a touch of what's the word? Can't think of the word, but you know, a touch of fun, a touch of the ridiculous. You know, like things are slightly ridiculous, slightly nonsensical, or don't like to use words crazy or insane because they're not really crazy or insane. They're more like exaggerated, or there is a word I'm trying to think of, like hijinks and mayhem, sort of. I can't think of the word. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. It's just too noisy today. I can't think. There's a lot of noise coming out from that side. Oh, I've got to check my steak. Hang on. I'll be back. I'm just checking my steak. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the that word. It's sort of zany or ridiculous or humorous. It's a word like insane, but not insane. It's cannot quite think of what it is. It's ridiculous will do. So things I make have sometimes got a bit of a idiotic sort of edge to it, a bit of craziness. So say I might, what's something I would have invented over the years? Like, trying to think back to something that was sort of ridiculous. Now I've got stumped again. A lot of different things, hard to pick. I can see about 1 billion things in my head. It's hard to zero in on one. Like maybe something in the kitchen, kitchen implement. Looking at the kitchen. I invented a train once, which was quite ridiculous, and everyone thought that's never going to work. And I had a big boiler, and sort of chucked logs in it, and it was like a steam train sort of thing. And the funny thing about it was I put this whistle on it, and it ended up catching on. Everyone thought at the time it was ridiculous having a whistle like that, going whoa, whoa, whatever, woo, woo. I sort of invented that woo, woo whistle, and it was meant to be funny at the time, But it caught on to sort of, now they have, burp, burp, sort of horns on the trains now. It sounds similar, but yeah, the one I made was sort of a woo woo, woo woo. And yeah, it was funny going through town and hearing woo woo. Everyone's like laughing. There he goes. Yeah, I go through on me train, and some people might remember me. I don't know. It was a few hundred years ago. I don't like to talk about all that, who I was anymore. I'm just happy just in the present. But that was a journey I went on to get to heaven, just to understand myself entirely, where I was, where I come from, where I'm heading, and just come to peace with the whole idea of myself. I don't have anyone else in that sphere, because people don't want to go there. Mum for many years didn't want to go into that spiritual. She kept sort of pushing me away. And she would have been perfectly safe going with me. We would have ended up in the same space. But it was probably too, because I needed a wife, really, not mum around. But yeah, she wouldn't come into that space. And even now, my family gives me the cold hug, because they don't want to come into that space. They're a little bit apprehensive. Or I think if I was married, I had my kids, they'd come in welcomely. They'd come straight in. The kids and my wife, and in that bond of love, we'd welcome everyone into our space. But as it is by myself, that space is sort of reserved for my wife, or that heavenly sort of space. And I think that's the proof of heaven, is when you're in love with your wife. And that's what I sort of wish I had fallen in love when I was younger and gone to heaven with my wife. Then I would have been proof on earth. Yes, I don't have to say all this stuff on a video. It's there. It is. Look, in the flesh, proven that I can bring heaven to earth. Here's my wife, my kids, my family, and look, there's an angel, and there's this happening, and there's that. I don't even have to say it. It's around. A bird drops a flower at our feet, flies off happy. It can do its little bit for us, and we do our bit for it. Keeping it safe. And it's a shame you have to sit and explain stuff. The world wanted information, didn't want love. Love's the answer. Information, it's a means to an end, but how you acquire it is the tricky part. If you do it, trying to circumvent other people's good lives, and almost by evil means, you're trying to invade people's lives to get their information, to sort of circumvent their good life and get profit yourself, by ruining someone else's life. Well, that's not going to work. You're not going to get to heaven or live on doing that. You're going to end up being punished in the end. And sometimes it can be maybe your plans don't work out and you get terribly embarrassed or in debt, or because you've stolen from someone else and their spirit hasn't let you sort of succeed. You've got to be kind to people to succeed. And I've been so kind that I've run out. I don't have any more love to give. I'm basically just reiterating what I've already said, a lot of the time. I'm probably why people switch off, but I still have little bits here and there. It's just platonic sort of love, because that's all I've got left. I don't have my romantic side to open up to. I don't have my partner. I don't have my 100 Barbies. I've got my steak on the Barbie, but that's all I can do at the moment. I can't, I don't have all my beautiful Barbie dolls looking after me and doting around me, and like I should for all the work I've put in. But they're out there profiting from all my work and I'm probably living up and having a great life and forgotten about me. So it's a shame, because I would like them in heaven with me. It's not like they're all around you, surrounding you all the time. They got their lives and stuff, but it'd be nice to be welcome, into their lives and be part of it and feel that bond, with someone beautiful like that. And be seen as beautiful from them, not. So I'm as good as I can be, I try hard to exercise, eat right, you just get pushed back into that same box of single man. It's all you can do, you know. Until you're married and you've got that support, you can't do much else. Marriage is just a bond after you trust each other and you're happy, make each other happy, and you know, you have a wedding after you have your marriage. And marriage is sort of another word for, you know, courting, or you know, you court someone, see if you're compatible, and then you're sort of fiance, aren't you? Fiance, which is sort of like together, you know. You know, you're sort of fiance. It's like sort of a French word for courted, or you know, you sort of you're married by then. You know, when you have your fiance, you know, then you have your wedding, and then you know, I mean, I personally think a demigod or a god should have more than one wife, to propagate all his children, you know, and to be a good love force in the world, you know, to when they have a big heart like I do, and I've basically taken over the globe really with my love. It's doing a lot of nice things for people, as much as it can do, you know, without you know, being given any personal love for my body, you know. Yeah, it's hard to get out with this money. It's just, you're stuck. You can't sort of go out, do much. Sort of try and end up sort of going around in circles and coming home again. It's the internet's not helping much. It's sort of, we're given all these promises it's going to, you know, do all this stuff for us, and the computers, and I haven't got much out of it yet. I really don't know what it's for. I mean, what's the profit of it? How you profit from it? Because even if you do the evil stuff you're doing, some people do it, they get punished for that. So how do you profit from that? I don't know. I don't see any profit. I see it come back to zero again. I think it's just the way it's made. It could be made better, like as a good thing. There's a lot of frustrations and a lot of anger and a lot of upset and hurt you get from it. I don't get it from other things. I remember when I was young, I used to watch TV. I used to sit there, my eyes and my head would ache with tiredness watching the screen. And I'd end up sitting in odd shapes and sizes and ways to sort of watch it. But I feel like that's just part of watching TV, you know. But computers, I think should be more like, should have more of a wow factor, you know, rather than, I've got to put in my password again, and it's sort of a drudgery of always feeling like you're at work with them, you know. I think it should be more like, wow, you know, yeah, like you see in the ads, but really you're getting on, it's like, oh, fucking password, and then this doesn't work, and then, error, and then, I've got to go backspace, and then, you know, you end up fucking around for half an hour before you get anything done, you know. And you think, oh, where's that setting? You can't find it, and you're worrying, and then this doesn't work, then the internet drops out, and then it's just constant bother, you know. I don't find it with other things. My air fryer's been great, you know. It's probably a little chip in there, but you know, it does a little timer, but it seems alright. There's just something about certain PC brands. Linux is a bit that way as well. I thought it'd be better, but in the end I found it just tended to invade my privacy and wanted information and stuff. I didn't like that either, but I'm not trying to put the companies down. I'm not trying to you know, knock them off or anything. Like, you know, it sounds ridiculous me saying that, but you know, I'm not trying to hurt these companies. I just want them to understand how the end user is affected, because it's not just me. I'm sure there's other people. There might be a certain set of sort of nerdy people that really embrace the technology, embrace all the troubleshooting, embrace all the problems. There's a lot of people that don't want all that troubleshooting all day long and worrying about problems with something they bought, you know. They just want to get on, use it. They don't want a simplified little version that are just 3 buttons or something either. They want they want the experience, but they don't want all the stress and hassles that goes along with it. You might think I'm being ungrateful, but there's just something about it. It's sinister. I don't know. I just don't like it. I get these messages pop up saying, "Oh, you've won all these cars and things." And it's like, why am I getting these messages saying I won cars? I haven't even entered a competition. Why should I get this stuff in my mailbox? Why does it work this way? Why don't I actually get offered something for me that works, not just scams all the time? It feels like this is built for a scammer to use. Feels like I'm sitting behind a hacker's scammer little device, and I have to try and fit into that sort of framework, and I'm not like that. I never will be. So, I'll never be someone that invades someone else's privacy and abuses them, because that's just not the way the world really is. People are that get punished, so I don't want to be punished. So, that's why I see it clear as a bell. Those people have evil hearts. I'll never have an evil heart. I'll always have a good one. So I'll never be seduced by that evil sort of spirit or influence. I'd rather be alone all my life than be influenced by an evil spirit and then destroyed. I'd rather live. I'd be happy just living my life with my family and friends and that. If that means I can't get married, if that's their answer, but I would really love to be married and have my children born and not have them exposed to this sort of influence all the time. The worry my family and people I know go through with their children, with online programs and using their computer and setting up all this garbage, this child protection stuff that is a nightmare to try and freaking administer. Every time something comes up, you've got to answer it and everything. Who's got time for all that? It's just it's life sucking. It just sucks your life away. This sort of technology. I don't know whether it's just they don't care, or whether it's just so complex they don't have the answers. They made this sort of system so complex in its user interface. I truly believe but this like laptops and phones should really be broken down into 10 separate devices, or 10 or 20 or something separate devices in your home. They shouldn't all be on the one thing. Like maybe you go out for the day, take your phone with your texts and your calls, and that's all you have on it, or you might have one other separate device for GPS or something, but having it all on the one phone, I know people think it's convenient, but it makes people addicted, they just sit there with it in their face all the time, doing videos, doing this, doing, all the time. That's all they're doing. And, not relating to people and just, like, I reference it to something I thought of a while back. It's like, imagine going out into nature. You go into nature, you see the water, and you see the trees, and you see the birds and the flowers and the abundance of nature. It's all spread out. It's all separate. It's all different things and things to see and do and go in places and find. And now imagine that was all on one bush, and people would walk past and stop and stare at it, and they'd sit down and just sit staring at the one bush with everything on it. They would never look away, would they? They'd be stuck there like a captive, stuck staring at the bush, with everything in it, all of nature in it, and it's sort of what phones and computers are becoming like, everything on the one thing, and we're stuck staring at it. It should all be different things all around the place to do, There's no reason why you couldn't even have free services around the street where people can go and look up their GPS or their free phone calls or their... I know they're starting to do that with phone boxes, but there's not many phone boxes around. You don't see them much. But I like the idea of the old phone booth. Maybe because I'm a bit of a Superman at heart. I like the idea of seeing a phone booth. You could actually have proper phone booths with a few services in there, not just phone. You could have a little map GPS thing, look up, or... I don't know. I don't know all the answers myself. It's not my business, but I just know that there's a lot of people suffering or just stuck behind this one device, getting obsessed by it, and it takes up all of our time and energy. And I mean, I guess what they're working towards is turning this box or this phone into a robot that does everything. And even that to me is alarming. I think robots should all be different. They should have all separate robots for different functions. They shouldn't be one thing that does everything, some central mega brain thing that, because that's dangerous, it's dangerous to have all that in one thing. People could become absolutely obsessed with it because it could outstrip our own ability and captive us, like we could become captives to this sort of mega machine. You've got to create these machines submissive, and you've got to create them sort of less than humanity, less than human beings for us to still enjoy life. They have to be simpler than us. What's the point creating a machine that does everything that's smarter than us? You're just becoming a slave to your invention. It's not how you should invent. You're supposed to create things that are useful for us to get on in life. This is not useful. It's defeating the purpose of creating the damn things. Because you can do it, you should. Create things that are useful, that help us get on in life, that help us. One thing I do like is the GPS system. It helps you navigate, but at the same time, people are getting stupid. They're just relying on technology. There's no way to evoke our intellect to actually figure out where we're going ourselves. You sort of have to figure it out yourself. Like what I do sometimes, I'll do one trip or one or two trips using the GPS, and then if I go the similar way, I'll try and figure it out where I'm going without it. And there should be more focus on that. Hey, I'm going to check the steak. Oh wow, it's burnt a bit, but it's alright. It's charcoal grilled. But you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? We're sort of focusing everything into one point, and everyone's obsessing about this one little point, and they're staring at this one point in space, these boxes, or whatever. It's becoming a robot. This one thing, we're obsessing over it. And we should be thinking about our wife and our children, and where is she? Where has she gone? This thing's got in the way. And that's what's important. These boxes don't matter. There should be a choice. We shouldn't have to live with them. We shouldn't have to feel like we have to have this thing. They should be decompartmentalized. What's the word? Decompartmentalized into smaller gadgets that are fathomable by everyday people, because there's too much on the one thing. And some people might love that, great, but there should be an option for maybe some other option. People can say, I don't want everything on the one box. Have in your home a little bay thing on the wall where you can write notes or something, or I can't think of the answers. It's not up to me, I'm not the one inventing this stuff, but I'm just an end user. But I'd like to learn more about it, see if I can help. But I'm not there yet. But I'm just trying to help, trying to give a bit of feedback. Sorry if I've been a bit tough, but tough love, I guess. Tough love. That's all I got to offer these days. Tough love. It's not very attractive, is it? I desire all that soft loveliness that women have to offer. Women are getting tougher. I'm sort of missing out. They all become footy players, which is great. I love that too. But they're always beautiful and soft, and when you're together, it's just the attributes of a man and woman. I think men are sort of come across a bit tougher and meaner, and women are a bit more beautiful and soft. And sometimes it's the opposite case, it's probably why a lot of women like the gay men, they're sort of nice to be around, they're more dainty, and they get to feel that with them too. And I don't think you have to be a poofter to feel that with a woman. I can be feminine too, without being a poofter, but I'm more sort of like a couples swinger sort of guy. I'm a bit more bisexual, where I can't really I'm not interested in going out with a man and just being poofers. I like the idea of having a wife and maybe sharing her with another couple or something. It's more the way I think. I'm more bisexual than poofter. But sorry to use that. That's just what I call people poofters. It's what Australians call gay people poofters. I don't like the word poofters made up. Gay is actually a real word for happiness. So I don't like using gay in place of poofter. I'd rather say poofter or homosexual than say gay. It's derogatory to that meaning of happiness. But, anyway, just my opinion. Probably doesn't count for much. But I better go save the day. I've got to use my imagination now to rescue the world from killer cabbages or something. Yeah, I've got to eat my steak. So yeah, I didn't go to school today. I was farting. It wasn't that. I was just bloody tired, and I just couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, no, I can't do it. I just got to stay home a couple of days, and I got the Friday and the weekend off. So I'll get back into it next week and study for my exam this week and try and get it. I've got to get 100% for my test. So how am I going to do that? It's not a hard test. It's just I don't know what they're expecting. I thought I did pretty well. I only got 50%. So I don't know. Why they expect 100% in a vocational, Cert 2 course, I don't understand. But, I suppose they're expecting scholars out of, electrical technicians. Alright, I'll see you later. Bye from the Green Lantern. Ken is secretly the Green Lantern, isn't he? Look at him. Looks like him. So it's Ken. Hey, the power is yours. Mine. Or I haven't got the ring yet. When I get the ring, Barbie, we'll be flying.